Good morning and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual freethinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm Jeffrey Hillauer Geiger, your worship associate and facilitator for Service Sunday. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway. Just to let you know and everyone else know, this is not our typical Sunday service format. We'll go through a shortened version of our usual service and then introduce an activity we can all work on together to help put our values into action. This will be an intergenerational service with opportunities for the kids to move around and work on the project with us. We'll end the live stream early, but invite participants on Zoom to stay on and work on the project from home and to have time to socialize together. I have a few announcements to share with you today. If you have a joy or sorrow, please fill out one of the cards placed in your chair or a chair nearby. We invite you to bring forward any cards you would like to share and place them in the basket at the end of the announcements. You can come forward and drop a pebble in the water at the time if you have a joy and sorrow that you prefer not to share. Are there any additional announcements for the good of the community?
And you have on the left page.
Oh, yes. I have some. Our three Unitarian Universalist congregations in the greater Rochester area will join together for a service of mourning, remembering, and holding silence on Friday, March 29th at 7 p.m. Tenebrae will be held at First Universalist Church, 150 South Clinton Avenue, Rochester 14607, and online. Next announcement, next Saturday, March 30th, 10 a.m., we will host an Easter egg hunt here at the church for children of all ages. And I do see children of all ages here today. Every family is welcome, and there is no cost to participate. So thank you to the helpers who stuffed the eggs after dinner church Friday. And as we prepare to be fully together, I remind you to silence your phones and devices. We will now enter a space of worship with hymn number 168 in the gray hymnal, One More Step. Now is also the time to bring any joys and sorrows if you have them. 168. And I invite you to join with me in our chalice lighting words as the flame is lit. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows,
gifts and needs.
We light this beacon of hope, the sign of our quest, celebration of the life we share together. I invite you, now is the time in our service to join together in spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or a committee and thank them for their gift of time. On these service Sundays, we would also like to thank you all for being the kind of community that comes together to better the world and bringing a sense of curiosity and adventure to new projects. 1/4 of our plate collection for the muddy season goes to Sustainable Finger Lakes, a community-based organization whose mission is to promote the long-term well-being of our region by integrating social equity, economic vitality, ecological stewardship, and shared responsibility. You can give this morning's offering by placing a cash or check in the basket or by one of the options on your screen. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. We gratefully accept the offering. And now I will share joys and sorrows. It's not too late if you have any. So we have for sure one joy from Abby, holding joy and excitement for the eclipse, new energy. And now I will drop a stone for these and all the joys and sorrows left in silence in our hearts. Whoops. Whatever is in your heart today, we are with you. I'll do another one. As we explore new ways of being together and being church, we have recently started a practicing of hosting dinner church services on the fourth Friday of each month. Thank you to everyone who came this week. Even though winter seems to have come back for an encore this week, we've decided that instead of having a traditional Sunday service that same weekend, we gather together to work on a project for the muddy season. We'll be learning about work that's called to care. Canandaigua, a local organization that provides support and advocacy for refugees. I'd like to invite Pat Mills to come up and tell more about Called to Care and how we can join in the work today.
Good morning. First, I'll just tell a little bit about Call to Care. A couple weeks ago, after service, members of Team 6, or our Social and Environmental Justice Committee, were here to get ideas from the congregation about ways they could, or we could use our energy to help other people. And since we're such a small church, I was thinking it would be best to maybe piggyback on an organization that was already in progress and going. And I know that Call to Care started in Canandaigua about two and a half years ago. People looked around and said, there's a lot of turmoil in the world, and there are people who need a safe place to be. Let's try to get refugees, try to settle refugees here in the Canandaigua area. And it's just a group of people who came together, some involved with churches, some not, and they've worked really hard. They've settled about 11 families in the Canandaigua area from Haiti, Ukraine, and I think there were a couple of Guatemalan families who didn't end up staying here, but they got their foot in the door here and moved on to Chicago, I believe, where they had family. So it ends up being over 40 people now who have been settled by Call to Care, and they depend on members of the community to step forward and give them a hand in a lot of different ways. The refugees, by the way, are settled under the humanitarian parolee visa, which we're going to come back to a little later because that's going to be our project for today. Call to Care has a lot of different committees that deal with the following things. There's a documents committee. They help the refugees when they first come, the first few days, to get set up for benefits that are available to them, like Medicaid and SNAP. There's an education and childcare committee to get the kids registered at school or find daycare situations or nursery school, whatever. Also help connect adults with ESL, English as a Second Language tutoring, which is available through literacy volunteers, or there's a 4-day class in Geneva too, a little bit more extensive than just meeting with a volunteer tutor. There's an employment committee, so people have connections in the community and they get these people jobs. Lots of times it's not a job that they would have done in their own country. Like I know the one woman is a teacher, she's working cleaning houses now, but she's making money and supporting the family. Health and medical committee to help make appointments, explain pharmacies and healthcare options, answer questions about billing, that kind of thing. Housing searches out affordable apartments in the Canandaigua area. Now, the woman was saying everybody told her, the leader of the Call to Care, that she wouldn't be able to find places, but through some online apartment sharing, not sharing, but advertising apps, she says every morning she opens up her computer and there are apartments available. So then people on that committee also help clean up the apartment or refurbish it if it needs it. Some of them are as is and need a lot of work. Others are ready to go pretty much. There's a transportation committee. A lot of these people, of course, don't have driver's licenses. They don't have cars yet. And so people are needed to drive them to appointments. I know that there's a team of people who drive English language learners to classes in Geneva. I think one person takes a day of the week and they share the duties. There's a community orientation committee to let people know what's available in the community, just even for entertainment or services like the library, parks, playgrounds, all that kind of thing. A social committee to try to get people involved with other members of the community and with each other. There's quite a network now of refugees that help each other out. Fundraising committee. Maybe you heard about Chasing the Blues Away. It was a big concert, comedy routine, sharing of experiences of the recent Haitian arrival, a woman from Haiti who arrived recently who had been through some really traumatic experiences, and her sponsor here in the community had met her, I think it was 10 or 12 years ago, when she was on a physical therapy experience abroad in Haiti, and this woman had lost an arm in the earthquake, and through that connection, the Canandaigua woman became her sponsor, and she told a very moving story about how this Haitian woman and her family have come here. And those are the main committees. There are good neighbor teams too, who cover these areas of need, but work together with one family at a time. Now that's a pretty big commitment if you're interested in doing something like that, though. You can be on a good neighbor team and work with maybe 5 to 8 other people and get to know one family really well and help them settle into the community. And last but not least is being a humanitarian parole sponsor, which involves stepping up, proving that you have $25,000 available to help a refugee family. It doesn't mean that you have to fork out $25,000 because Call to Care is there behind you. They're constantly holding fundraisers and they'll back you up. But the refugee family needs one person there guaranteeing this support so that they can get settled in the new community. I was especially struck by the documents representative who spoke, because the problem with the humanitarian parolee visa is that it's only good for 2 years. And after 2 years, you're sent back to wherever you came from, no matter what the conditions are in that place. So imagine having come from Haiti perhaps 2 years ago, and then being faced with the reality of being sent back to chaos and lawlessness. So Call to Care has taken on, I'm sure with lots of other organizations, an effort to try to sway legislators' minds and extend, or at least make it possible to extend that humanitarian parolee visa from 2 years and to beyond 2 years, depending on the situation in the home country. So today's project is, first of all, I have a petition to sign if you're in agreement with that, but also they would like letters sent to our representatives. So if you're in Canandaigua, that'd be Claudia Tenney and Chuck Schumer, Gillibrand, what's her name, Kirsten Gillibrand, I looked it up. If you're from somewhere, another neighboring community, you can send it to your representative. I have addresses, I have information about the humanitarian parole, general statements about how you might want it changed if you're in agreement, just so you have something to go from. Some of the statements I have are geared towards our own Canandaigua refugees, but certainly it's a general problem across the country for humanitarian parolees. So, without further ado, I think we're going to retreat to some tables. I'll pass out some paper that you can write on. I have some envelopes. I wasn't expecting such a good turnout, but I have some envelopes, and I can take those home and stamp them and send them as well.
And Jeff will have just a few more words on his script.
Okay, great, thanks, Jeff.
And thank you for joining us on YouTube and Zoom today. We'll be ending the live stream now, but keeping Zoom open. And if you would like to learn more about Called to Care, please visit www.calledtocarecanandaigua.org. I invite you now to all arrange yourselves however you're comfortable around some tables and to share the letter writing supplies with your neighbors. It's okay to partner up with someone if you're got great message to share but could help with spelling or would like to add a bit of artwork. Legislators often say that they pay extra attention to